let me ask you a bit more about that September 21st card, because it's not just about the main event. You've got some cracking fights on there. You've got Joshua Buaty finally fighting for a version of a world title. I think it's an interim WBO against Willie Hutchinson, who upset the odds on the 5 versus 5 show against Craig Spider Richards. What do you make of that fight?
I think it's a good matchup. It's a good fight for both men. I think Willie Hutchinson's come on leaps and bounds. He's a different fighter today. He's a mature young fighter. Again, he's had one or two. He's had a blip in his career. You learn from these. It's not the end. You know, the young fighters, people make mistakes. You know, it's all about bettering yourself. And he's really come on. I see that as being a very, very good fight, a tough fight. But I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I think Willie Hutchinson. I don't really know much about Buaty. I've seen him fight, but can he really punch? But I know Willie Hutchinson can. He's powerful. He's got a good dig on him. So it's going to be interesting, that fight. But I'll edge towards Willie Hutchinson, I think. Probably because I know him as well. So there you are. Probably a little bit biased, but you know. But look, that fight can tip either way, to be honest. But I just think Willie Hutchinson, we haven't seen the best of him yet, and I think we will do in this fight.
And then you've got a very intriguing fight up at middleweight between two fighters who've made their names at lower weights in Josh Kelly and Liam Smith. Josh Kelly probably needs that big win at this stage of his career. Liam Smith's already won a world title, but still in there, you know, upset Chris Eubank Jr. in their first fight, and then had some issues training for the rematch. What do you make of that one?
You know, I didn't even know they was boxing.
Oh, all right.
But you told me something. I mean, that's a good fight. It's a very good fight. I know Liam Smith very well. Good fighter. And it just depends how ready Liam is. So I'm sure he'll be up for this fight. So let's see. He'll have a bit between his teeth. What happened in his last one? Because he seemed to be a little bit all over the place for the last fight he had against the rematch with Eubank, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, people said he had problems with his ankles or whatever. I don't know, but he didn't look the same man as what he looked the first time round. So clearly there was issues in the background. So I don't know what them issues are, but that's the way it looked to me. But I'm sure if Liam's on his A game, he takes some beating for sure. So it's going to be a good fight.
And one that many are picking to be the fight of the night from an action perspective, Josh Warrington, who's never really in a dull fight, going up against Anthony Chikadze, who surprised a lot of people in taking apart Joe Cordina not too long ago for the world title. How do you kind of weigh that one up?
Both good fighters again. These are the type of fights we want to see because you can't pick either one. But what Chikadze did against Cordina needs maximum credit because Cordina can fight. He's a good fighter. And what he did in that fight was exemplary boxing for me. You know, so he didn't seem to be missing much. He was relaxed under pressure. And I thought it was a perfect performance. So if he can perform like that, he's going to be pretty difficult to stop, I think.
Yeah, it's an excellent card, isn't it? Top to bottom. You must be quite happy with how that's going. You've been calling for more competitive fights for a couple of years now. Is it a shame in a way that it's taken Turki Alalshikh and Riyadh season to make it happen in the UK rather than, you know, it's just happening through our own fighters and promoters?
Well, it's made it a lot easier because the money is there. You know, so it's any business is easy if there's a pot of gold there. It's going to be shared out. Sure. You know, so that's why it's easier. But it's definitely good for boxing. We're seeing these good fights. We want to see winners and losers. No, we're not interested in seeing people unbeaten for years on year's end. And there's plenty of people out there who could have boxed and they haven't boxed. You know, that's not good for the fighter. It's not good for the boxing fans. It's not good for anybody. So fighters are there to test themselves. It's like the way I look at it from a training point of view. What am I doing? Spending hours of my life in a gym, training a fighter to protect the fighter. I'm training that fighter because I believe that fighter can be one of the best fighters in the world. That's what I train a fighter for. I ain't training a fighter to get me livid, or I need to do this, do that, because we can get more money. That's the last thing on my mind. I'm in that gym working with these fighters to get the best out of them. So what do I need to do? To get the best out of them, I want them to train. I want them to compete against the best. I don't want to get in the gym, spend hours of my time to go and fight a lemon somewhere that, 99% you're going to win. Because we've all got a pair of eyes. Why waste time like that? You either got it or you haven't. At that level, it's put up or shut up. And fighters need to fight each other. So the answer to your question is I'm very happy they're fighting each other because, I'm looking forward to turning, watching them. Where before, I see who's fighting, who it's against, and I'm going out. I'm not even stopping to watch it. Unless I've got absolutely nothing else to do, I'll put the TV on. That's what I mean. Because if fights are so lopsided, who's interested in that? Nobody wants to see it.
So let me ask you this then. I think it's a nice one to end on. Outside of your own fighters, purely as a boxing fan, someone who enjoys watching boxing, what fight would you most like to see that hasn't happened yet?
Oh, Danny, I don't know. I think there's a lot of very good fighters out there. I think a lot of fights now seem to be happening. So I've got no complaints really. I think Canelo springs to mind. There's some people he could face that needs to happen. And I think all these type of fights they all need to face off against each other. I think Better Biev, that's a good fight. Who's he facing off
against Bivol.
Yeah, that's a cracking fight.
That's a really good fight, yeah.
Yeah. These are the fights we want to see. Pick the best against the best. But for me, Canelo should have rematched Bivol. That's another thing I don't like to see. Where they get beat, they go another route and don't fight the opponent again. Do you know what I mean? At that stage where they are, they should be fighting again. So if there's politics involved, I don't know. I'm only an outsider looking at it. But, if you believe you're the best in the world, if you don't get it right on Sunday or Monday, get it right on Friday. It's another day. It's another day, different day. It's up to you to make that different. So for me, all the fighters, shouldn't matter win, lose, or draw, keep on fighting.